Do like a little intro thingy, and then we'll just get into it. I'll change the share screen so you can see the actual video here in a second, like of each chapter. But right now, I'm just gonna go and look at the leaderboard.
Oh yeah, you're in game to look at that.
Yeah. All right. What's up, guys? This is Auddy and Carp. Just got done with chapter 3, so that's 3-1, 3-2, and 3-3. Doing some post commentary on those 3 levels, just showing you what we did. But first, we're gonna go look at the leaderboards and such. First, we're gonna look at our chapter times. So 3-1 got a 5:15, 3-2 5:53, and then 3-3 at 3:35, and you can see our chapter 3 total is a 14:44. So we'll go look at the leaderboard now and see where that kind of puts us here. Now remember, some of these times are cheated times, so they don't actually count, but
quite a few, in fact.
Yeah.
Surprising there's not more, though, to be fair.
Yep. So the only other person we can see even close to us is Snow with a 15:15. That's actually a legit time. I'm going to guess all the rest of these are definitely hacked in some way, shape, or form.
Think so.
But yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our video for chapter 3-1 now, and we will start talking about that. So, let me get this. All right, can you see that, Carp?
I can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right, you want to just start talking about 3-1?
3-1 was a fantastic chapter. I love this chapter. Maybe not so much while we were doing it, but in retrospect, like, this is my favorite chapter we've done. It was definitely pretty difficult. Chapter 3 on the whole was quite a bit more difficult than expected. 3-1 was expected to be difficult. 3-2 was kind of a big question mark, kind of a wild card. We weren't really sure if it was going to be hard. Spoiler, it was. And then 3-3 we thought would be a piece of cake, and we were wrong about that for some really stupid reasons, but we'll get to that later. For now, here's 3-1.
So to put this kind of into perspective of why this chapter was as hard as it was and why it meant so much and why we look back on it fondly, is that we beat a time that had been held for 15 years, stood for 15 years, since May of 2010 by Resi Runner and Captain Blubber. It was a 5:28. That was on the PS3. I'm sorry, it was a 5:25 on the PS3. The closest time to that was a couple Steam times that were 5:28s. But 5:25.
Let that sink in for a second.
Yeah, 5:25 was the time to beat.
Was on a PlayStation 3, and there was a mystery. That was one of the greatest mysteries in RE5 segmented for a long time. Nobody understood how that was possible or why they couldn't beat that time on a faster system. We know a little bit now about how that might have been possible, but to be honest with you, it's still a little bit of a mystery how they were able to achieve that. But finally, we figured out enough new things and just perfected this chapter enough to blow that out of the water, as you would expect it should be possible to do on a much faster version of the game.
One of the things that we're most proud of is that we were able to use boosts to eliminate a lot of strats, using like no proximity mines at all, and getting rid of one of the grenade launcher strats as well on this mission, which were basically staples since the beginning of time.
Yeah, like some major strats being changed.
So this is just kind of the start of the mission. I was going to talk about the boat just a little bit. You can see Carp did a quick turn using the lock-on strat, the LB. We use that quite a bit.
Wherever it's useful to turn around. It's very nice when your partner's placed like that.
And we do play on controller, so that's like huge for us, being able to do that instead of on mouse. So for me, on this boat part, you can see I aim in between like this and this. I kind of aim for the middle as I'm coming through this part, and I'm really watching just like the side part here. And eventually, after so many attempts, we were in this for 16 hours doing 3-1 actual attempts
also,
in the game.
Important to mention, he's non-host here.
That's right.
Non-host is driving, and that's important later.
Yeah. So we think being non-host makes this possible because a lot of the times when we were trying it with me on host or anyone on host, that we would bump any of the walls that we were trying to scrape up against. We would always bump. So I think being non-host is extremely important. But eventually you kind of just figure out, like, you can kind of see some stuff on the side here to know when to start turning. And then same thing with coming through here. I aim straight for the tower here. I just aim and then I know kind of by my surroundings. I don't remember exactly what I use, if it was like the tree or one of these poles or something like that. But I knew once I didn't see one of those to start turning. What, Carp?
Yeah, you had just something in mind.
Some kind of visual cue. It's been a while since we played this. Either way.
Yeah.
And then immediately start turning back. And then the important part is this part right here. So
not picking up the beetle.
I mean, that is important, but
but the boat maneuver.
But you come in and then you have to start really turning hard into this dock right here. So if you were on host, you would absolutely be bonking right now. There's no way. But you can see I'm grinding up against this thing. And there was plenty of times where I would still bonk, on non-host, but you just kind of have to keep doing this until you get it, and then just spamming X as much as you can, as quick as you can. And my spams could have been better, but it's so hard to do that while driving and everything else.
And if you watch close here too, you can see moments where the host perspective on my side looks a bit different.
Yeah,
So you can almost kind of get an idea for why these driving maneuvers wouldn't be possible on host by looking at that.
And this was not our fastest
funny
boat
enough,
either.
Usually non-host in most cases is the slower person, but in this case it's a lot faster because of the maneuvers you're able to pull off. But yeah, this boat was insane. I mean, I don't think anybody pushed this to this limit before. I'm pretty sure we saved an entire second just on that part alone compared to other runs that we reviewed.
Oh, absolutely.
Before starting.
Yep. So let's see. Time here, 36:58. Our best ever that I got was a 36:38. Overall, we have written down that for this chapter, for 3-1 in general, that 0.3 is about the amount that we could save, realistically, non-task, just certain things here and there. But that is one part that we lost a little bit of time. But this section was rougher than it should have been, honestly. It took us a while to get this down. I don't know.
Well, it's because there's a couple particular things, and then there's this boost. And this boost, it's one of those boosts where one of the players, in this case you, Auddy, has to just perfectly time when you integrate into it. You're just waiting for me, and you just had to run at the correct time.
So
Those are always kind of tricky.
This is one of those sections we talked about where we eliminated using a proxy mine, because in the past, someone would stay back on the dock, put a proxy mine down, and shoot it as the person came to get them across the checkpoint. But with this, we were just boosting both of us through it, and it ended up being faster. So
one of the things about boosts is it creates so many new things.
Yep. Like we're
for
boosting
one
right
of the
here.
players to have to do. There's so many parts throughout the run where previously one of the players wouldn't even go somewhere with the other player, and now they're going with them just for the purpose of boosting their speed.
So we boost all the way through here.
Their task.
And the important part here was that whoever the person is that's not going through the window cannot kill this guy, because the first person has to use this guy as kind of like a
it's
pinball.
Weird. You'll kind of see it here, but I actually somewhat bounce off this guy a little bit
just to get the angle.
It's not even that obvious, to be honest. Like watching it, even in slow motion, like it's hard to really understand it unless you saw without him there. But the angle that I turned there to get the jump through on that window, I can't do it that sharply without kind of bouncing off that guy. So that was something we found for me to get through there effectively.
And then obviously getting that boost set up to get back here is...
That boost was difficult for sure.
Yeah. Now here's the hardest part of the run, right? Like this is the part.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes or breaks the
run.
It
was certainly the part, I don't know about hardest, but like definitely the part that requires the most patience, if nothing else.
We realized many things when playing this level in particular, and that is, without the use of timers and very scientific data, going by feel does not work, because we found out that you lose a lot. You're
bleeding tons of times that you don't even realize.
Yeah, because there was times where we're like, oh, that one felt fast, right? And we look at it and it's like, that's definitely not fast. And in the past, we'd have been like, oh yeah, let's go with that one. That looked good. That felt good. And with the timer and everything else that we have now, we're like, oh yeah, no, like I can see why people lose time. That's why the 525 was never beat, because people thought they were doing good and they were actually doing not good at all. But anyways, let's just watch this part. Let's just watch it.
This is another section. We save at least an entire second here over anything anyone else was ever doing. Yeah, so we're at that gate. We are at that gate by the time it opens. Think about that. If you watch other runs, like, they're nowhere near that gate by that time.
Yeah. And we'll go back and play this in slow motion and everything, but that part took us so long, and we had like maybe 4 that ever even got to this like end part of it. You know, like it was rough. Like we were just bleeding time, and we're like, dude, we can't accept that. We have to get something better.
I mean, you guys would not believe how much time was being left on the table on this section because of not using timers. Like, we're just using the timer. We discovered so much here.
Like this part alone is why people were losing like 3 seconds to the PS3 time. Like straight up. Like it's like this.
Essentially, and it's very simple. Like, we essentially just discovered it is critical that you shoot this guy in the tower as soon as possible. And it sounds like the simplest thing in the world, and it really is. But that is the critical thing here. And we just figured out a setup to shoot him as absolutely soon as you physically can. And that is the critical thing, because the sooner he dies is the sooner this gate is down. There were some cases where we would just bonk into this gate because we were trying for this. We knew that if I shoot him soon enough, we basically don't even need to stop at the gate. We just keep going the whole time.
So I had to like hit the reverse a little bit, like not the brake, I don't think, but just kind of the reverse and just stop,
Just
like
barely, yeah.
just enough. You have to get a feel for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Carp's basically aiming at a certain spot, and I'm moving the boat to be his aim. Like he doesn't really move; he kind of just stays straight, and I'm actually his aim, left or right, if that makes sense. So I have to know how much to come in here and like then stop so that he can just shoot, and it
was a team thing for sure. Because I would micro adjust a bit depending how it looked, but yeah, basically the boat's doing most of the work there.
Another thing is if you destroy the bomb doesn't work. You have to shoot the guy.
Yeah,
and
it's a slower death animation with the bomb.
Just so many things. Like, and this wasn't even our best time on this. This was like I don't even know. It wasn't the greatest, but we went with it because we were like, well, like.
We didn't get through there very often.
That's why. It's because like the difference between seeing this cutscene, like there's times that it pauses, and we can like use those times as references. So we have things written down, like, okay, what time is it when this cutscene happens, right? That's one. Another part is, okay, when is this cutscene happening, right? And it's like, okay, that's another one. Like this was not our fastest. Our fastest was 1755, but our boat was also further away that time than we are now. Like on this one, we were outside the gate like instantly, and because of that, we actually saved time on this one compared to that other one. So
yeah, multiple variables that we needed to look at.
It's crazy.
Also, people are going to be wondering why the machine gun.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely not necessary to that. That's just the weapon that I started going to once I realized we needed to shoot the guy sooner. I was just looking for something that I could get more shots out with.
Something with fast fire rate, pretty much, is all we were looking for.
Ultimately, the setup we ended out using, it wouldn't be necessary to use that. You could use the handgun as normal, but I just kind of accidentally ended out using that in our process, and once I was already used to that system, I just stuck with it.
So with this section, you can see I'm using the what is that, like not the Magnum, but like whatever you want to call it, like revolver, but and he's got the grenade. And used to in the past, you would like everyone's scared of these Crocs because you're like, well, it's a one-hitter quitter, right? If you get hit, it's over. Well, we found out if you're boosting that you can get past pretty much every single attempt the Crocs ever go at you. They could be like touching you, and there were so many times where we're like, oh yeah, we're getting 8 right here, right? There's no way he's like inside of us, but because the boost, it just like didn't work. It like either
we started limit testing.
Oh yeah, like either Carpenter would be able to get past because he's host and it's going to hit him more likely than me, or I'd be non-host and it'd be like jumping on me and it just like wouldn't hit me, and I'm just like, okay, cool, like, you know, like whatever, like.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot of stuff with the boost. It started becoming very similar to Ditman Glitch and RE4 in that sense of like being able to get away with things that you wouldn't be able to do with normal speed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So obviously we set up a boost here. Like we have to do a very particular, like I have to very much go to the left like hard here, and he has to kind of like wait a second, I think, and then yeah. So we come in here and you can see where this Croc pops up. He's like right here. Like this is kind of like we could have had him even closer by a little bit, but this is, you know, this is like a good amount. He can be further over. If he's in here,
sometimes he's spawn right in our path.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where he would spawn in this grass and stuff. So we just kind of had to just wait for this and the other Croc to line up in a good way, because if they were in the way, it didn't matter if we were going fast or not. They're in the way. So as you can see, he tries to bite, and he bites not even towards us. He bites like behind us. It's just because we're going so fast, he doesn't know where to bite, and so you just don't get it.
Bites like where we should be, basically.
And then this, basically, the rule of thumb is just hug left. Just hug left every single time, and you'll get past it. Like, it doesn't really matter. But see, this one was really far to the right.
Unless he's directly in your path. Then.
Yep.
It's fine.
So we boost all the way, I kill them both, and then...
And this was great because we got some really long boost sections here, so
all
this
I'm
is
doing
huge time saves.
up here, there would be sometimes a third croc that would spawn if you come out far enough. So I would come out here and kind of like bait it to see if he was going to come out or not. Because there was times where we would get the boost set up on the way back, and then he'd be in our way, and we're like, oh crap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to come out there, and then I stand in this particular spot over here so that Carp can use the LB lock-on strat to do the quick turnaround.
Yeah. This was trickier than it looked like because I could get caught on that pole and stuff if the turnaround wasn't in quite the right position.
So then I move over here, getting ready to do the boost, and I basically just get like
There
a
were-
one shot, just run into it and hope I get it type
yeah,
deal.
so many resets here because it's another one of these difficult boosts. And there were a lot of things to possibly reset to before that as well because I had a lot to do up there, and if I didn't do it quite fast enough, that just wasn't good enough for the times we were trying to get, and I'd have to redo it.
So this croc would always spawn in the way. He there was times where he was like on the dock itself, and like you can
It
still
was
get
always
past
different.
him. Like yeah,
But I had to actually tell you which way I was going
yeah. So that
because
way I
it
could
looked
stay
different for both of us.
Mm-hmm. And you can see he's like hitting us, but like nothing's really happening because the boost is just like it's so desynced and so weird that he's just like what?
Yeah.
But normally there'd be a proxy mine here once again, and we just completely avoid that. So just boost to the end. And Carp kind of got stuck right there
got
too.
botched here.
Yep.
Almost got botched because I hit a dead zone on my controller or something like that, and I was able to make it into the checkpoint, fortunately. Before that, it became a problem.
On that part, you just spam B as fast as you possibly can right there. And a lot of the
Nothing to
time,
it here.
just like we found out with other chapters, having host like get on things second is always faster, but there are certain instances where like I don't know, we were spamming here and like we wanted to make sure we had like we wanted to have Carp on the driver's seat, so he needed to be first. Like he needed to get on that, and then I don't know. It's just weird. Like you just got to spam and wait until you get what you need, pretty much.
Other than that, nothing to it. Just a straight shot to the dock. And try to get this prompt onto the dock right, because you only have one chance at that.
So activate another
Much
boost.
like a B-door.
I'm going to be doing a quick turnaround with the LB once I'm up top up here. See, we're both holding grenades for the faster quick turns and such. Getting that was difficult. There was so many times where
This was weird.
like I would have the prompt on my screen, specifically me being non-host. I would have it and I'd be pressing it, and because host gets on it sooner usually, he would like hit it and then it would like push me off. And so I wouldn't actually hit the prompt. It was I'd get pushed to the right or like get pushed to the left, and it was just like, oh my gosh! And so like I had to come in at a very specific angle. Like I would go right and then like curve in left, and like I don't know. That seemed to
We
help.
both do weird things to get out of each other's way there. You can see I go off to the right side.
And you can see I do a super fast turnaround right here. I'm gonna do this in slow motion. So it's like I grab it and then I do the LB trick. Like super fast, and then immediately I'm spamming X to try and jump down, and then like in real motion you can't even see like any of that happening. It's I broke it. Oh no, hold on one second.
You broke the video.
I broke it, did it?
Now the next thing here, I don't remember exactly how other people were doing it before, but we did change some things here. I think this was being done with the hand grenade before. I don't think we changed that.
Yeah, but we activate the boost right there, which is obviously new.
Yeah, and make that look easy, but it required some luck to be able to sneak past all those guys.
A lot of the shield guys would block us.
But yeah, definitely that was impossible without boosting.
Because normally what would happen is you would get to the end of the dock, and someone would use the grenade launcher and hit both of you guys over. Like they would kind of be ahead, and then that was the grenade launcher strat that we got rid of.
But we tested still using that, but just capitalizing on the boost speed for the full time is faster.
Once again, we wanted Carp as the driver here, so if I got on it, then it was bad.
And this was very good driving here. I think I actually did this on the first try on that section, and it was like the best one I had ever done. And I actually ended up losing a little bit because of the line I take to this island, because I was so excited I forgot exactly what I was supposed to do, but I don't think it was anything major.
Nah, it was pretty minor. But what ended up happening was like he got this crazy turn like first try, and we were just like, oh, okay, just
it's a very particular turn because you have to stop it and then go again at just the right time. Like I make it look easy here, but it's very particular.
We found out these poles don't really have a hitbox like you think they would, and so you can kind of go inside them, and that's like you can see he's touching it like all up on it. Like
I want as much room to the left as possible before I make that right turn.
So ideally, like we would have went left of this thing right here. Like he would have cut like less and went left to have a better line, and that's where we lost our time. But at most it'd be like I don't know what, like
it's not much.
Yeah, I don't even know, but still, like that, you would want to go left if possible, but that was still good. And then we were kind of like looking at our time and stuff and being like, okay, like we knew we had a lot of time to save in the second split, and so we were like, all right, this was kind of hard to set up this boost right here.
Yeah, this one's tricky.
So I can't remember. Did
Since
you have
they
to
have
wait?
Different false, something we had to do something because we had a similar thing in the past, or because of the characters having different fall speeds, you have to set this up kind of particular to get it to work at the right time.
Like Chris falls faster than Sheva, but Sheva climbs faster than Chris, so it's weird.
Yeah, they don't follow the standard rules of gravity.
So you can see what happens is like I have to make sure that I'm on the left of them, and then I don't quick turn, and then I have to like squeeze in there.
It's pretty difficult, but fortunately it's right at the start of a checkpoint, so just did it until we got it. And that, I think, was one of the few exceptions where we found it was still faster.
Yep, to use that.
To shoot with the grenade instead of boosting. I'm not sure exactly why that was the case there and not on the other one, but we did test all of it, and that was the case.
So we put ourselves on 60, and the reason for that is to get past these guys in this tunnel, like this little, whatever you want to call this part coming up. It was basically impossible to get past them, and past the guys maybe on the bridge as well for Carp to be able to get in there. It was like he did it once, but it was just so not.
Yeah, it was only one time. Like we could not repeat it. I don't know what was going on with it, but.
So specifically this part right here was like the part where it's like, okay, we got past it once on 120, and that was about it.
And even on 60, they did not give me that very frequently. No. They would, even if I got through, they would slow me down a little bit or something. Something would happen.
We thought about switching to 120, like from me switching back to 120 on that part before he opened the door, but we were like, we didn't know if it was really going to be worth.
I don't think it would have done anything.
We reactivated Dipman like right after this door, as you can see. Like I like go through a little bit, and then I wait, and then he does the turnaround, and I get it. The only thing we didn't really get is this other boost right here. Like we can set it up after
keep
this.
It here.
Like
it really just counts on you both having a really good or a really similar jump over to each other.
Like luckily,
still have it after you jump over.
Luckily, I got pushed forward and not the other way around. Like if I'm first, that's good because we want host to be the second person hitting this anyways.
Yeah.
And because he was second, it was like, okay, we're still good. Like that was still a good outcome. It wasn't the Dipman outcome or the boost outcome that we wanted, but it was still good.
Yeah.
And then you can see we beat the the time that we were trying to beat by 10 seconds. So.
And you could reset the room to try to get that boost, but because there were so many things that needed to happen in there, and it was a dangerous room to be in. Like the more time you spend there, the more time something could possibly go wrong.
Like we could die on the
bridge or
bridge.
something.
If you kill too many enemies, it gives you a checkpoint. Like there's just there was just too much.
So if it were something where we needed that to get a 514 or something, then yeah, we would have had to do it. But because we knew we couldn't get a 514, we just didn't worry too much about that. We didn't even get to that point very frequently. There were a lot of resets in the section, and we didn't even get to that final part very often. So
like I believe with our like written down some of best, it's like 0.2 or 3 lower than this or something like that. Like, but it's still like it's still not a 14.
Even if
so
we did everything essentially perfect. Not a 14. Maybe with a test it could just barely be 14. But I'm not even sure about that. It probably would be if you consider all the hex prompts. Probably with tests it's 14, but I don't think that's feasible for humans.
Let me see. My window captures being a second. Oh, I see why. There we go. Okay. Can you see it, Carp?
Yeah.
Okay.
3-2. This was, like we said, the wild card chapter. We didn't really know what was going to happen here. Going into this, one of my big concerns was this very first section where you have to crank someone across the raft. And that ended up being a huge can of worms. We went down an enormous rabbit hole trying to figure out the fastest possible raft you could get. And this was another thing that, because of being so scientific in our testing, we discovered that there was lots of time saved just being left on the table with this raft that no one had ever found before.
Once again, Chris is host. So we activate a boost here, right at the very beginning. We'll just kind of go through this whole part and then we'll rewind. This boost right here was hard to set up. That second one took us a while to figure out. It seems simple. It's not.
It's very particular. Very particular. It's pretty standard stuff from here up until we get on the raft. And the raft, you won't really notice anything different from normal, but it's definitely faster than a typical raft. I'll let you talk about that a bit later, Auddy, after we talk about everything up until the point with the raft.
Yep. So he's just gonna kill everybody, make sure I don't get hit, etc., etc. I'm gonna find the stuff we have written down about the raft just so we can kind of talk about.
There's a lot of data that went into it. We legitimately had hours. I don't know how many hours, but a considerable number of hours just in figuring out the raft.
Exactly. Okay, so let's go back here. So, like I said, we activate a boost right here at the very beginning. This part right here, we figured out if you do a quick turn.
I actually lose the boost here, but that was kind of on purpose. For one, it was incredibly difficult to keep it. And secondly, we found out there's not even really any reason to keep it. Well, there's a little bit of reason. I mean, you would save a very small bit of time, but apart from that, It's because of the second boost, like we mentioned after the jump down. It's very particular. So even if we kept the boost up to this point, I would actually have to wait. I would need to jump down late like that anyway.
Yeah, we did a quick turn, and then like because Chris jumps down quicker, he has to like wait because Sheva's not ready in order to get the boost. And then there's this little like this part right here to our left, this part of the bridge, like there's a big hitbox right here, and it like pushes me out so far you can see, but it's hard to like stay in line with trying to stay to his left and get in, but also like get off of that, and then you can get like 120'd on it, which means just getting stuck on, you know, invisible walls and
So
stuff.
basically, Chris will physically get in the way of the path. So I need to get myself out of the way, and the timing has to just be just right. So everything was very particular to get that consistently working. So the only thing that could be better there, like we said, if I kept that boost at the very start, we would save just a small bit.
You can see it gets
Really,
a pretty good jump down right here
not even
too.
0.1 of a second. Yeah, this is something we've realized with a lot of jump downs and jump overs and such. If you come at things on kind of an angle like I did there, you can get the prompt to appear sooner than it normally would. And I don't really know how to explain it with any more nuance than that, but it's just something strange where depending on your angle of approach with things, the prompt will just simply show up sooner.
So let's talk about this raft, shall we?
Yes, I'll let you talk all about the raft.
Okay.
Because you were the one who had to suffer through cranking it.
This had a lot of science behind it, a lot of timing, a lot of things written down. Essentially,
when we say timing, we mean like multiple samples of timing it over and over and over again to make sure the timings were accurate.
There's a lot in our Discord chat back and
taking
forth.
Averages, hours and hours of figuring out how to crank this raft fast.
So basically, in the past, the way that I had always done it was, you can see this visual of the joystick moving on the screen right here. I would time my joystick to be the exact same or as close as I possibly could as like that was turning. So I was trying to turn it as that was turning, just keeping it in line with that, right? Then one day I said to Carp, I said, you know, I wonder if that is like a certain, you know, if there's a certain rhythm to that we could actually like scientifically get, and if that's actually what we needed to be. So I said, like, let me look and see like how many beats per minute this thing is. Like, how fast does this thing actually go? So I kind of like free-handed a BPM as I was watching it. I just kind of watched it on the screen, just like this. I was just kind of watching it and go. I went into Reaper. It was like just like hitting it every time it like did a rotation, like just kind of watching it on the screen. And it started honing in on a certain BPM on the metronome, and I was like, okay. So I was like, it's around a certain number in a range around 300 BPM. So we were like, let's start taking some BPM like metronomes, and let me just like listen to them and just like try to rotate with the sound of that and not looking at anything else. So I literally would take off my headset, or at least part of it, and had my phone on my desk with a metronome from YouTube that was just playing like certain BPMs, and I would go with that BPM, like let's say it was like 270, and I would like do it, and then I would take that recording, take it into Vegas, and see how long it took me to get from one point to the other. The way I would time it was I would wait for, on my screen, I have the button to turn, and once that button went away, then I was like, okay, that's when the timer started. Then I would take I had Carp's point of view as well, and I would look for him, and I would look for him to get to a certain point, and then on my screen I would say like, okay, I see this part of the raft always hits like this pole. It was this pole in particular right here, and I was looking at this part of the raft, the second like log And so like once it would be like flush with it, like that, then I'd be like, okay, that's the time. And I knew that I could get that every single time, like as a visual cue, right? So I was like, I'll just use that every single time. So I did like so many different BPMs, and we found out that literally just exactly 300 BPM is like the sweet spot, because what we did, which was ingenious by Carp.
We do mean exactly.
Yeah, like seriously, exactly 300 BPM. So we found out he had a genius idea. It was like, what if, because the computer's always going to be perfect, right? What if I went in and had the computer crank for me, and we see what the time is? So we went in and we timed that, and we compared it to 300 BPM of me doing it as best as I possibly could. And we found out that, yep, that's as close as we can possibly get to it being perfect. Because if you're too slow, then obviously you're not getting as many rotations as you could. But if you can also go too fast, and it won't count your rotations. So you can actually lose rotations by going too fast.
That's something that we kind of knew before, or at least like that was common belief, but we were actually able to prove that in this test.
So what we did was he got the CPU, and I took we did like 5 attempts with the CPU.
To clarify, that is CPU on keyboard and mouse, because it's also a known fact that the CPU does perform faster while using keyboard and mouse.
Yes.
And theoretically, a human could perform it faster as well on
so
keyboard
I'm using
and mouse. But
joystick.
we tried that as well, and it's crazy to say, but that became a physical issue to be able to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't even a game.
It was literally you have to crank this for a very long time. And if we're talking about absolute perfect spamming, which we are, because that's how you get the fastest time, the speed at which you have to do that absolutely perfectly for the time you have to do it, you literally get tired before you can complete it.
Yeah, it takes a while. It's say when we did our testing with the CPU, we found out that there was very, very small differences, but basically the average was 37 seconds flat. Like for the CPU to get this done and cranked, it was 37 seconds flat. Like when I say minor variances, I'm talking 37.090, 36.981, 37.067. Like we're talking like, and this is me just having the visual cues to go off of, right? So it was basically 37 flat. So we were like, okay, basically
try to get could have literally just been user error on the visual.
Yes. So it's like, let's just say it's 37. And so it's like, let's try to get as close to 37 as we possibly can. And then we found out that 300 BPM was giving us the best results. And we ended up getting, with like the best we could, I believe it was a 37.2.
I think it was something like that, which is extremely good. I mean, to be only 0.2 seconds off literal perfection, like of what the game will allow for something that has to be executed over this length of time, is very impressive. And to be fully honest with everybody, this is why we had Auddy doing the cranking, because we did figure it out that it doesn't really matter if host or non-host is the one who does it. We just had him do it because he's just literally physically better at doing that crank than I am by a lot. I'm just, for some reason, not adept at doing that crank for a long period. Like, I could do it really well up to a point, and then there was just a certain point where I'd lose rhythm and get tired, and you lose a ton of time from that.
It was like two things that went into that. Like we said, like we figured out that host non-host didn't matter. Like we were like, oh, thank goodness, like okay, good. Like it doesn't matter who does it. But we also found out like you said, like physical limit. Like I was just more adept at doing it, but also I play drums in real life, so me keeping on time was very much like a thing to just, like kind of second nature for me.
That probably helped a lot. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. Like we'll just do it.
I mean, to be honest, we were incredibly fortunate that one of us had the capacity to do that, because I literally could not physically do it that fast. So if that was the case for both of us, I don't know how he would have overcome that problem.
It was that, and his controllers kept breaking on him too. Like the joysticks kept breaking on Carp as well, which
Yeah.
is great. But yeah, I just looked up at the
like
BPM, and it was
yeah.
37.233. So 0.2 off of theoretical best, and we were like, dude, I don't know if Fakima can do any better, but let's just call it like. So
yeah, no, I'm extremely impressed that you were able to get it that close. Like, I don't think it's physically realistic to do any better than you did on it. So.
Now I don't remember like what this one was. I think it was like a 0.3 or something like that. It wasn't the best that we had ever gotten, but like it was like very close, and we were just like, okay, dude, like everything else went well.
Take it.
So
you have to take it because it takes a lot of work to get to that point.
Yep. The hardest part,
especially with the cranking. If you have to reset and do this crank again,
it's terrible.
It becomes physically problematic.
Because I was getting tired. I was just like, oh man, like this is bad.
Yeah.
But this is where we saved so much. This is where we saved all the time, pretty much, for this chapter. Like this was huge. This and the Josh area were like the two biggest things, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in dock, but we'll get to that. But either way, the hardest part was really like because I was in the zone. I was having to use my right palm, and so my hand was kind of like off the controller, and getting off this crank was freaking hard to do. I was like, oh, he's up, okay, get off quick, and like not hit Y and not hit like this start or like the big X button. It just like it was rough.
But you did get there in time.
Oh, it was hard. That was the hardest part of this whole chapter for sure. This part we activate some boosts, and I have to wait because Sheva climbs up quicker once again. Like it's just weird stuff, so I have to kind of like and then time it and get in there, and then this cutscene would push us out too, which was weird. I don't know why it would do that, but
the cutscene would move me, so we would lose boost sometimes. Nothing difficult, but just very tedious. A lot of resets waiting for it to all go right.
But basically just boost all the way, and it's such a long run that it's like, man, like we're saving so much time compared to the old style runs.
Boost paying dividends.
Yeah. I'll let Carp talk about this area because this area is.
I'm very proud of my inputs here. Is all I'm going to say first off.
Yeah, we'll just watch it.
Prompt there. Insane quick turn.
All of his prompts.
Almost no prompt climb up, and almost no prompt to the.
Like everything was like frame like one.
And it was just because I was doing it so many times over and over. I just got incredibly dialed in with it. And the reason we had to do it so many times is, again, there's cranks involved. These ones are much shorter, but it was still just tons of resets trying to get the perfect crank. And these ones being shorter, I was capable of getting those really good cranks at least. But we did this part so many times over.
And what's weird is we were like, man, okay, we're going to save time on this, right? And we end up losing time, and we're still just like, whatever, dude. I don't know how. Like, okay, cool. Like,
just say we don't really understand why that is. And you did something different with the rocket here as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And we thought that would be like better and help us too. We were just like, oh yeah, we did it so well. And then it just like didn't matter. We're like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah, we still don't understand.
Like really our math doesn't math on this part. It was really weird.
Yes. But I think we did really well there. I just don't know why it wasn't better.
It was strange. It was so strange. We just look at his prompts here. Let's just kind of like go in slow mo here for a second.
Yes. So I said, no prompt before. I don't know if we've used that term before, but we use that term when
I broke it. Hold on.
You execute a. So that we say prompt for like when the game gives you X input to jump down or to pull over, anything like that. And we call it a no prompt when you execute that so fast that the X button prompt doesn't even actually show up on the screen. And those are a really big deal. They're not easy to get, and if you can get multiple of them in a row really fast like this, we have talked about this a little bit before, I think, where if there's a lot of prompts in a row, and if you can do those really fast, you can save quite a bit of time just off of executing those really fast. And that's one of the things that we're really kind of using to save as much time as possible in a lot of these cases and push these runs down to the lowest limit. Is just being really diligent with little things like that.
So you can see, like,
well, actually, there was a prompt.
It was there,
one.
like 1 frame, dude. Like, and then
yeah,
this quick turn,
literally 1 frame.
This quick turn's gross though. Like,
yeah,
it's like there, and then.
like it is because it's a really like small angled quick turn. It's an acute angle, but it's crazy how fast it's possible to quick turn in this game. So
literally 2 frames. Yep.
And I think this one's only 2 or 3 frames as well.
1. Okay, so
to get 3 prompts like that in a row, it's not easy, and it actually saves a lot of time if you can do that.
So as everyone knows from the past, like, the other person has to run into this fire, and the reason you do that is so that this guy that's in our path doesn't hit you or look at you or whatever. 14.90 was our time here. Our best ever was a 14.85. So we lost a little there, but we were like, whatever, this is like really good.
Yeah, it's definitely really good.
But basically hitting that fire allows this guy to just kind of, like, his AI just dies, and so you just run past him because normally he would swing.
Kind of funny.
Yep. And then from there, we kind of just go through it like normal.
Oh, you got a no prompt there. I had one there too. Almost no prompt.
It's like
all of our prompts are insane here, and I don't know why it didn't.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Seem to matter.
I'm looking at this zip line go across, waiting for it to hit a certain point, and then I know that I can hit mine, so that we're kind of like hitting our triggers at the same time.
Both of our things here were crazy too. Actually, just insane prompts here.
It's like we did really well on the whole part. The only thing I can think of is that I just didn't kill the chainsaw guy quick enough, which we had one where... It has to
be that, but that's odd.
It's really weird. So I had one where I shot the rocket, and it literally went in the middle of these 2 poles, and because of that, lost us time, because normally I would want to hit the pole. And then I started looking at it, and I was like, dude, it's costing time for me to even like look down at all. Why don't I just like look barely down and just shoot the side, because that seems like it would be faster. And in our testing, it was faster, and so I just did that, and we were like, all right, sweet, then we got it, like everything should be good on this. And then we somehow still lost time, and we're just like, okay, like we're throwing it up to just random like bullcrap. We don't know.
Yeah, we genuinely don't understand that.
We activated boost there.
Did everything we could for sure.
We have like a good B door.
Our best time couldn't have been much faster than that, right? Our gold on that section.
It was 0.1, literally. Like
it
was a 101.31.
I don't understand how this wasn't a new gold, but
yeah,
it's not like it could have been possible to save that much over that gold.
We were very dumbfounded by that one, though. We were just like, okay.
Yeah.
But here's the funny part, is like we thought we had Josh solved. Like we thought we had it squeezed out, like every single, time save we could possibly save already. And then on this run, we're like, oh man, we're behind now. That sucks. We're barely going to get record or whatever, get the record we want to get type deal. And then we end up getting a gold on every single tiny section on this Josh section. Like all the little cutscenes I have written down for like certain times, and we beat every one of them. We're just like, oh, okay. Like, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so this part, the reason we have subtitles on is so we can see when Josh says things, like on recording, so I can go back into Vegas and be like, okay, what time on this timer right here on the detail timer did he say something? And like we can like check it, and then in game we can watch and see like, okay, we're looking for X amount of time, so on this we're looking for a 13 something, like a lowish 13. Our best before this was a 13.5 or 4 or something, and we end up getting a 13.26, I believe, when he starts to say his line. Yeah, you can say nice job, like right there. It's on screen at 13.26. So we were like, oh, that's already a gold right there. But basically, if you don't get a 13 something, just reset. If you have a 14, it's just not worth it. But then, after that, you also have another part where he says, almost got it, and you're looking for a certain time on that. And we ended up getting a 37 .08, which was the fastest we had ever gotten on that too. And we were just like, oh, we're smoking, like. So right there, he says,
So that was
almost
just
got it.
doing it over and over until it was good.
Yeah, there was nothing
And
that made it
probably
better.
it's just I think there's some RNG involved because we don't know what the enemies are doing there behind the scenes. You know, it could just have to do with how fast they approach the blast zone here. How direct is their path to getting killed by these rockets? Also, with my rockets, there's a little bit of sway to the aim in these games, so some of them didn't hit exactly how they should be hitting. So it's just a matter of doing it over and over until we saw the time that we needed.
Once you hit the almost got it, you shoot like 8 to 9 rockets more, and then you're good. I actually got stunned, like somehow, like my rockets hit something, like the window seal or something.
Really
I was like,
strange.
oh crap! And I had to get that set back up, so I thought it was gonna screw us over. But then we look at the time, and we're like, oh wait, we're good. Never mind. We're like going faster than we ever have. So 15.10, and that was our best right there. And then same for getting
this
out.
part
And
we
this
figured
part.
out some new things.
Yep.
Some totally new things we figured out here with Josh.
Yeah, I'll let Carp talk about this because he mainly does it. I'm just here to shoot people.
So I didn't change too much, but I did find some things I do affect how Josh's movement is. So there's a no prompt for you. Speaking of, I don't think that affected Josh too much, but this was the very important thing right here. You saw it when I climbed up that ladder, I took that wide turn against the left wall, and that was important for Josh. Because if I climbed up the ladder and did a quick turn to the right, consistently that was really bad for Josh. And I think that's because the AI doesn't have a quick turn that they can do, so I mean, I guess they could, but they don't recognize that as a movement strategy like we use. So I have to basically move in the best possible way.
Literally no prompt.
that an AI could move.
So yeah, it's this part
So
up
I'm
here.
just trying to move on a path that would be optimal if I was an NPC, right?
So you can
And
see
then hope Josh
just
follows that closely.
he runs right,
And it
like
didn't
that.
work every time.
And then I don't know if this affected
Once
it
I'm
either, but
down
you kind of
here-
run into the console.
Yeah,
who knows?
that was not on purpose. But once you jump down, theoretically, nothing matters at that point. But
Yeah.
maybe it does.
So
Not
on
really
my
sure.
screen, I was the person watching to make sure this is a good attempt or not. So I'm watching Josh, and if he stutters in any way, shape, or form trying to get down this ladder, I was like, nope, and we just reset. And so on this one, he literally just gets right up to it and just jumps straight down. So we're like, okay. And then we had a time to look at right here when he says, "Is everything locked down?" And our time was a 125.25 on that part, which was the fastest it had ever been. And we were like, okay, well. So you can see.
For anyone who's familiar with RE4 speedrunning, this movement with Josh, it's very similar like in 2-3 in Resident Evil 4, where you're in Ditman and Ashley's following you, and you can move in a path that's kind of bad on purpose because it makes Ashley take a better path.
Yeah, it's like our movement's
kind of
bad, but her
similar
movement's
principle
good.
Here.
But basically, we just kept checking the times on the segmented timer and seeing that everything was like well ahead of what we had been written down before, and we were like, okay, well, we're good.
Oh.
Dio.
I like to fool around a little bit when we get a chance.
And then
there's some pretty good fooling around in the next chapter coming up.
Like we have this time written down that's coming up right here. We have that written down. We have this one written down. We have any time that the timer stops, we write it down, and that's because we don't have splits. We don't have all these like detailed like small splits throughout the game. to be able to check on the timer, so we have to make our own kind of. The other part about this is we can reactivate Dipman after this quick turn. We didn't get it, but because Chris being host, once again, as long as he's there second, that's good for us. And it worked. It works. You know, it was like, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And we got
I think it would save virtually nothing to keep that boost. And I don't know if we were ever able to do it in an actual attempt. I think only while we were just practicing that part. Because you have to do that part after the whole Josh section, and if you reset the checkpoint, you have to redo the whole Josh section. And we definitely didn't want to do that with how well that had gone, which was basically partially up to luck, so we didn't want to throw that away.
So once again, the time I had written down,
practically nothing.
That one was only like 0.01 off. So we're like, okay,
whatever. This is an important part to talk about.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah. This
part
is insane.
We came over here with the boost and no proximity mine. So previously you would put a proximity mine, but we don't need it because of this boost here. We're able to just get past everyone.
Not only is it faster, but it gives us unlimited attempts, because with the proxy mine you get one shot, and so with this we were able to get unlimited attempts, which was awesome.
Yeah, really big deal, especially with how tricky all that stuff was to do. We needed more attempts for sure.
So let's go back here.
Yeah, talk a little bit about what would have happened before with the proxy mine.
Yeah, so what would have happened before is, like, on this part, one person would have come and set a proxy down, like, right here on the ground. And what happens is when these guys come from directly where we just came from, that doorway right there, they blow up on the proxy and it blows up the lock on this door. And then also this person would lay this proxy down, go through this door, and lay another proxy that would hit the dogs that come out and hits those two tripwires right there. So that's how you blow up all the explosives and get this lock out of your way.
Yeah. So we had a few problems to solve.
Yeah.
It wasn't as simple as just, it's faster. We had to figure out, okay, but how do we deal with all these things that the mines blow up? Because it's not just the enemies.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, we're losing time because we're having to shoot the lock, right? But in reality, we weren't. So
we saved so much time from the boost. So.
And then blowing up the other tripwires was just as simple as, like, finding a point to where I could throw a grenade. So Carp waits right here for a second, and then I slide in there so we can do the boost. We go to the left. We found out, like, we tried to go to the right for a long time, and then we found out going to the left was just way easier. Going to the right, we got hit. Like, it was almost impossible to get past these guys.
It was possible, but it was way less frequent. And I don't think, I don't know if we really confirmed it, but it basically is no time difference, I don't think.
That guy basically has to throw. We can't get past if he swings, but we'd rather have him throw. It was so much harder if he swung. But,
yeah, he would hit me a lot of the time.
And then here you
hold the other way. If we went to the right, we almost never got through there.
Yep. We hold hard right here, and then I had a spot on the ground. I was using this right here as a visual cue. I would stand basically where this was, and I would stop like a little bit before it, and then barely go up, and it would go just above the fence. Carp would shoot the lock. My grenade would blow up both those tripwires, and then we would get through, and then he would stop for a second so we could reactivate the boost.
Yeah, and hope the dogs don't mess you up, because they can still mess you up.
Yep.
And then you just have to manage to make all of these tight turns without losing your boosts, which is really difficult.
Yep.
Because you have to move exactly identical to each other almost to keep in that state.
We tried both of us quick turning, neither of us quick turning, and then we found out that it was better if I didn't and he did quick turn. So, and then we were able to, like, reactivate it after that turn right there. And then you just hold hard right here, and that's it. And we end up getting a 553. The old record was a 604. So
yeah, pretty crazy. I think that's the biggest improvement we made, right? 11 seconds. I don't
Yeah.
think any other chapter.
It's a lot.
Chapter 3 was just crazy because we had 10-second improvement in 3-1, and then here, even 11 seconds.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Just crazy. Just so many new things that we figured out. Yeah, so just massive improvements in this chapter 3. Not just getting into the sub 6, but getting way in there.
This one took
And
way
then there's
longer than it should have.
3-3.
So I
We
ended
thought
up
this
going
would
host on
be
this one.
a piece of cake. Like, nothing happens in this chapter. But unfortunately, there were just a couple stupid things making it difficult.
We will say getting a 335 is a piece of cake. We got plenty of those. We got a lot of 335s.
Yeah.
But getting a low one, that's where it gets hard.
Yeah, and we were trying to get a 34, which we ultimately came to the conclusion it's possible, but it's pretty much task level.
It's like a 9.8, like 0.98, so yeah. It's hard.
Like it's probably is doable for humans, but it would just take absurd amounts of patience. We call that the forbidden handshake, which is all we had.
So many times.
That was all we had to keep ourselves entertained.
It was what kept us
waiting
sane.
On this auto scroller.
Kept us sane, dude.
Also just trying to shoot these guys in one shot, that helped us stay.
Yeah, we had to make mini games out of the things we were doing in order to keep ourselves occupied and like not go insane. Because as you can see, we spent 12 hours.
We need to take a look at my inventory as well.
Oh yeah, like Carp.
Yes, 12 hours on this stupid little tiny chapter.
Carp has the craziest inventory, like for this chapter. We use more weapons on this. Like, I want you to take a good look at what we have here. So he has 4 different weapons. And the Hydra being one of those weapons, which is all right, like cool.
As far as we're aware, the first and only use of a shotgun in any kind of a speed run, and that's for an extremely specific purpose. We'll see here in a second.
We'll kind of just get through this, and then we'll talk about what each person's doing.
The Hydra shot,
because this part is really wacky. Like, there's a lot going into this.
Yeah.
So our time
it doesn't
here
look like much.
Is a .85. Our best is a .74. So we end up losing 0.11 there. But because we knew the second section was just so rough, like we just had to get to the second section. Okay. So let's go back here.
Lots to unpack. So this looks like nothing, but there's so many things that could ruin your attempt here. So many things. Me shooting these explosives wasn't really necessary. That was just something that was nice to do, because I could accidentally shoot them later, and that could mess us up.
So we both try and aim for this flyer. He's not like necessary to kill, just nice to have. That's a nice to have.
Yeah, it's just something to do while we're waiting.
So we end up killing him. Now here's where it gets important. Here's where it gets important. Yeah, we killed that. We killed that flyer. You can see him falling right there on your screen. All right, so we kill him. Now here's the 2 important parts on the right side. One is the guy. We have to get him out of the way, and we have to try and get him out of the way sooner than later. If it's later, he's going to be over here, and money could potentially get in my path, which isn't a problem on this side. Is a problem on this side, but we'll talk about that in a second. We want to kill him as far away as possible, though, just so that we don't have to worry about that. The other second big thing is that barrel. You have to destroy that barrel, period, or Sheva or whoever is going to the switch is going to get stunned because it blows up when the other person is killing. Yeah. So then the other really most important part before anything else is we got to kill this guy. and not just kill him,
But
but get him away.
Kill him. Yeah. This guy right here is the entire reason I have the stupid Hydra in my inventory. And it's because this single guy can ruin your attempt. And you spend a whole minute riding that stupid boat, waiting for one chance at trying to do this. So him ruining your attempt really sucks.
And that's why it
so
took
we
us
had
so
to
long.
do everything in our power to try to make sure he can't ruin your attempt. And the reason he can ruin your attempt, like Audie mentioned, these guys can drop money. And if this guy drops money near the jump over, then when you go to jump over, you don't jump over, you pick up the money. And we were just dealing with that for a while. Oh, sometimes he drops money and the attempt's no good. And I was like, that's stupid. We have to figure out a way to get rid of this guy. And here's how we got rid of him.
So we found out the Hydra wouldn't kill him in one shot sometimes, and so
Well, it could, but it was random.
So we were like, all right.
We were trying to get away from random here.
So I want to hit him once with the Raffica, but in a way in which he won't fall down, because if he falls down, the money's going to stay right there once again if we kill him. So I'm trying to shoot him like in the torso, or
One
somewhere
time,
where he
but
won't
not kill him.
but
Just
not
damage
kill
him.
So there he was like, oh, okay, didn't go down. And then you can see Carp blasts him. And then a lot of the time it was funny. He would like fly into the water over here, and we loved that.
Yeah.
But like at least he would get away. Like as long as he's away from the edge, then we were good. We're like, all right, we don't care about that money.
Yeah.
And if there was other money on the other side, Carp had enough time to jump over and grab that money for me, so that whenever I was coming back, we were good.
So that needed a Hydra because a shotgun is the only weapon type that is guaranteed to blast somebody backward like that.
Then you have a spread, so it's
That's
kind
how
of
we
easier
were
to
able
hit.
to ensure it.
It was just like, man, okay, like good,
And
we're good.
The Hydra is just the highest damaging shotgun, so that's what I used.
Yep. So
you can see it's not even upgraded, but I just upgraded the firepower all the way. That's all we needed.
So now we have to set up a really stupid boost here. I had to get in first, and then I
believe is the first boost we ever had to do off of a climb up, and that turned out to be tricky.
We done them off jump downs, but climb ups we had never done. So like this was hard. So basically, I was using this as my visual cue, and I would line up in a way to which her shoulder and this had space in between them, like this. This was my cue to know that I was facing the right direction. If I'm facing too far left, then I would get pushed, which we'll talk about here in a second because we do that on the other dock. If I'm too far that way, he gets pushed. Basically, we have to get it so that our hitboxes are just inside of each other. And Carp has kind of nothing to go off of. He kind of had to just freehand this every single time.
I had to be as far left as possible while it would still give me the prompt. And if I was too far left, it wouldn't. Wasn't too difficult, though. I just had to face straight forward. But
so then we both had to have good turns. Like we have to do the turn where you're holding it down and then you let go of R to do like the frame one quick turn type deal.
Buffered quick turn.
Yeah, the buffered one. And so we get in there and then you just kind of have to fight each other for a second to like make sure you get in.
Yeah. Because the other thing too is you know, even if we position it just right, if our climb up timings are too different or the speed of how fast we quick turn is too different, then one person will just be too late. So there were a lot of variables to make that boost possible, and then you don't have a lot of space before you start turning. So even if you are getting into it, you still might not get it because you just run out of room to get in front of the person. So it was very tricky.
So unfortunately, a lot of this
it's so stupid because it's such a short boost. But because there's so little in the chapter, it mattered a lot in terms of the time save that was available.
Yeah. Like we were saving literally like 0.25 from this thing. Like, not a joke. So the other bad part about this was we were like, it's all X prompts. So it's like literally dependent on how fast I press X that we save time or lose time. And so that's why we couldn't like be bothered when we were like, dude, like, okay, we're losing 0.1, but it's all literally just X prompts. And like, it's so hard to get a good X prompt like every time, you know? And so that's why we were losing time.
You did get very good ones, but... And again, you have to sit on the boat every time just to get one of these attempts.
Yeah, if we mess
get
up
everything right, and then sit on the boat for
it takes a minute, like 50 seconds to get
the
back
auto
here.
scorer was killing us. And mind you, before boosting was discovered, all the other player had to do was just not even get off the boat. You just sat there on the boat and waited for the person to get done pulling the lever. You didn't really have to do anything before. But now we had to do all this stupid stuff.
So you see Carp's going to shoot this guy with the rocket, and he wants to blow him up like direct impact, because otherwise, if you shoot him normal, he'll jump down and get in the way of the other player's path. That's the other reason we had to destroy that barrel, because if that barrel's there, it stuns the other person when he shoots that rocket. I do the LB, like lock-on quick turn. Like, whoop, immediate
just
turn
another
around.
example here of something that can screw up your run if you don't do it exactly right.
Yep.
Because I have to hit that guy directly. If I don't, that's another thing. That's just your whole run's ruined.
This corner
got in the way.
This corner
It's
right
another
here
thing.
Is a 120 like corner. It'll grab you and like and you just can't move. So that's one where we're just like, oh, got 120 to reset. There was a lot of those.
And then
I had a good
after
jump
all
over.
of that, I have to time this boost.
Yep, just free-handed.
Enough practice I got pretty good at, but... And then you have this jump down, which is one of those weird ones we were talking about before, where you have to do it on an angle to get a really good one. So you could lose a lot of time to that if you didn't do that jump down correctly. On this one, I did lose about 0.1 to my jump down. But we just had so few good attempts that...
Yeah, like I had decent
to try to get it
for the first two.
Perfect.
Then I had a good jump over.
We determined we could save about 0.2 in total on this section.
Yep.
But that's talking 0.2 to what perfection would be. That's absolute perfection to save 0.2 here. So...
Yeah, there was a lot of just like, I don't know, and then we had
this
so
is
few
the point
attempts.
of no return.
Yeah, no return here, so we have
can't
to
reset this checkpoint.
It sucks. Like we would get to this part very seldomly to the second half, and so I don't know, it was just rough because then you have to start the auto
matter of getting
over.
a good first part like that, and then you have one chance and don't blow it. So you just had to get a really good first part like we got there, and if you could get through that and do this part well, then you're good. But you can easily mess something up on this part. But this was the one where we got everything good.
And we do a push, a legitimate, like, we want to push.
You'll see. We didn't want this on the other one, but on this one, we want on purpose.
So I'm going to kind of go back. If I'm facing far enough left and just enough left, not if I'm too far, it won't work, but if I'm just enough left and we climb up, his hitbox will push me like pretty far over, like towards where we need to go. You can see like I'm like,
you can really see it on my
I'm like
screen,
gone,
right?
like see where I'm at, like
yeah.
And so that saves time here because we don't have enough room or distance to be able to do a boost at all. It doesn't help us. We've tried, we timed it, it doesn't do anything. So getting a push is like actually huge.
I can't run with him up until the jump down because there are things Chris needs to be doing separate to Sheva here.
And there's a lot of 120s on this part, especially on my side. Like, I can get 120'd on so many of these corners, and that would happen. We're like, oh, we have a good one. Oh, got 120.
Tons of them ended to that.
And once again, it's all X prompts, just like being good at X prompts. And if you're slow at them, then, well, you lose time.
That one was great.
Yep. So, like, our fastest time here was a 0.44. Theoretically, it could be like a 0.2 something. So...
Yeah, but again, that's absolutely being perfect on prompts. So,
like, there's times where I got 120'd on this tire,
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
move, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it was just, there were so many things, there were so many factors that made this so bad. Like, I got 120 right there, right there. I've got 120
It
on
is
this turn
crazy
right
how many
here. Like,
spots there were I
it
could
was
have.
bad.
Now this right here, there's something we actually could have done and chose not to do.
Talking about the boost right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a boost, so he has time to go up this ramp right here. So he'd be like right here on my screen. And we can set up a boost. We've done it. We timed it, and it actually doesn't save time. There's not enough distance to cover to make it save time. And once again, if you
The
are
reason,
non-host jumping down second, that's worse. So for him just getting to the boat, being on it, and host being able to jump down second and just like get there is going to be faster. So
yeah, that was the reason it didn't save time, is because the caveat to that is you end up losing a little bit of that time save to the boat. In this case, you end up losing all of it. Probably with task inputs, it could save a couple frames, but yeah, basically, it wasn't worth using that. And that's a good thing, because if we did have to do it, we only had one shot at doing it after all that stuff. So
you
it
said we
was the one
golded that,
saving grace, is not having to do that.
but we could have golded even more. We had three good 335s that were like 0.5 ish, including this one or lower, and I added those up, and our sum of best, it says on here, is 335.29, but with all those combined with those little like checkpoint written down, it's a 334.98. So theoretically we could save like that amount of time, but in a real human sense, it's probably about 0.2 at most.
Yeah. So it's very annoying. This is definitely the first chapter where it's been this close to being possible to get another sub-second, but it's not feasible. I think we could do it if we had just spent infinite time on it.
Yep.
Tens of hours. Probably we could do it, but that's insane, I think. Maybe someday we'll come back for that, but
So there's a couple ways you
it
can
was
time
not
this shot
feasible.
right here. You can see that Carp hit him with the rocket, which does enough damage, and then all you have to do is literally hit him with one bullet of the Ravka, doesn't matter who, and he'll die.
This was interesting. We found that you preload damage on him, essentially.
So you can use the audio cue, which is what we were using originally. And he's like, just get out of here, Josh. It's 2. And like in the middle of 2, the word 2, if you shoot, that's pretty much the timing you need. But in reality, if you look at the timer here, the best we ever got was a 7.40. On this one, we end up getting a 7.45, I believe. Yeah, you can see he's dying right there. It's a 4.8. It's a 4.8. So we lost 0.08 right here to that. But it's such a hard timing to get. And if you shoot too early, it doesn't count. So we think 0.40 is actually like the limit, if not close.
Yeah.
It could be like a 3.8 or something like that. But you could shoot on like 3.5 and it won't work.
I mean, beyond 0.1, you can't tell if you've lost the time base.
And especially in real time when you're like looking at it, it's just like, so you can see I shot, and it's just like, you can hear it's kind of on the middle of the word 2. And then on this part, it is a matter of the rocket hitting the water at a certain point of the dialogue. It is not how fast you shoot it, like where you it's literally like it has to be after the word killed on this part. And you'll see what I mean.
It's also positioning of the shot.
Yeah, positioning is huge. So like as soon as the word killed is done, like I'm talking like when he's saying like the D of killed, like it has to be hitting the water in order for this to be like a perfect shot. The way I lined this up was I'm actually using Carp. I'm using his rocket as a guide. So I run up here. We knew exactly where to stand.
Yeah, I actually had even though I don't have to do anything here, and we actually don't want me to shoot because we want to make sure it's the host rocket killing him. I come over here specifically setting myself up the same way every time so that I am his visual cue.
Yep, because there is no visual cue in the water anywhere. Like, you can't use anything out here. You could try to use the boat, like if you stood back. People have done that, but like we've just always like shot up here, so we're like, well, let's figure this out. So one of the reasons we have text on the screen is for this as well, because that's how I line it up. I'm actually using the text, and I'm lining the text up with a certain part of the rocket. So it's this part right here. I'm lining the top of the W up with that part of the rocket.
This might be one of the craziest visual cues ever used. Actually,
and at that point, I know that I'm like in the vicinity at least, and then I can kind of micro adjust if I need to. So once I'm in the rocket, I can micro adjust, and I think I moved down like ever so slightly. Yeah, I moved very slightly down, and then I shoot. I was creeping up in like an audio cue to see when I needed to shoot to get it to be right at the end of the word killed. So to do it in fast motion, now that you know what to look for, you can see I come up here, I'll line it up, then I micro adjust once I'm in here a little bit down, and it's the rocket's blowing up right at the end of killed. So I'm shooting it on the word try, but depending on where you're set up and everything else, the audio cue could be different. But really, you're not even looking at when you're shooting it, it's when it's blowing up. That's the more important part. And it has to be after the word killed. If it's in the middle of the word killed, it doesn't work. Like the cutscene isn't over yet or whatever. It hasn't it just won't work. So it has to be after that in order for it to actually have a hitbox for them.
And if you're late, of course, you lose a lot of time.
Then you lose time, yeah.
It's quite precise.
And another way you know you've gotten the best one you can is there's no sound effects. So if you listen, once I kill him, there's like no sound effects. So you can hear him laughing.
Which is not normal.
And then that's supposed to be like, and then pow. And there's just like nothing. Yeah. So that's how you know you got like the best one possible. So we end up losing time like 0.04, but that was due to the other part because I lost like 0.08 compared to the 0.4. I got 4.8. So we lost time there, but I got the perfect like kill on the rocket. And so we were like, all right, well, GG.
Yeah.
And this was a 3:35. The time to beat was 3:36. Yeah. So we only beat it by a second, but it was like...
Yeah, that was a relief to us because this chapter, it was the first one where we weren't sure it would be possible to save any seconds over the previous record. And
yeah, we thought we were going to tie.
Feel pretty confident that having conquered this one, that it should be possible to untie every single record left in the game.
There's one shorter chapter, and we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, we're like, I think we can do it. I think we can untie all.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy. This chapter ended up being a lot more than we thought, just for silly reasons. And like we said, it didn't take that much effort just to get any 35. We had a 35.5 something, high 0.5 something high, 0.5, and we just weren't happy with it. I mean, it doesn't sound like much difference, but when we watched it, it was noticeably worse performance, and we definitely wanted that a better looking performance, and that little bit of time save will matter to the full game IGT, so it wasn't for nothing. And we definitely also had to push the limit to discover if a 34 was possible or not.
But that's it. We're going to continue on to chapter 4, see what we can do, and, see if we can untie some more.
You will not hear from us again for a while because 4-1 will be arduous. Exactly. It is one of the 2 chapters that we know will be the 2 hardest in the game, and it's a very long chapter. So
Alright.
This will take a while.
Yeah, definitely. But that's it. So we're signing out. We'll see us post some chapter 4s hopefully here in the next couple months, but we'll see. Do our best. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Peace out.